inverse functions problem type 2, we're going to have kind of 3 different steps. Step 1, we're going to find the inverse of our function. Step 2, we're going to find the domain of that. And step 3, we're going to find the range of that. Every time we use this to find the domain, we're going to use the denominator from our inverse function. And to find the range, we'll use the denominator of our original function that's given to us. But I'll come back to this in a second. So first, I start by switching this g of x equals x minus 4 over 2x plus 1 and finding its inverse. And the way I do that is g of x is really a y. And I'm going to switch all my x's and my y's. So since this is really a y, I'm going to write it as x equals, and I'm going to switch my x's to y's. So I'll say y minus 4 over 2y plus 1. And then I'm going to solve. So step 1, I'm going to multiply this 2y plus 1 to the other side. So multiply 2y plus 1 on both sides. 2y plus 1. And that's going to give me 2y plus 1 times x equals y minus 4. So then I'm going to distribute. So I'll have 2xy plus 1x equals y minus 4. And now I need to get my y's on one side and my x's on the other. So I'm going to minus y to come over to this left side, and I'm going to minus the x over to the right side. So that gives me 2xy minus y equals minus 4 minus x. And then I see that there's y's in common, which is perfect. So I'm going to pull out my y's. So I'll have y parentheses 2x minus 1. And I'm using a 1 because as a placeholder. And that equals negative 4 minus x. So now to get y by itself, I'm going to divide by 2x minus 1 on both sides. So I'll have negative 4 minus x over 2x minus 1. And that's it. I'm done with step 1. So that would be my very first answer. 4 minus x over 2x minus 1. Now, to figure out my domain, I'll switch colors. So the domain of my function, I say that we're using our inverse function. So my inverse is this equation, the 4 minus x over 2x minus 1. And I want to know when is this undefined. And to figure that out, I set my denominator equal to 0. So I would say 2x minus 1 equals 0. We would add our 1, 2x equals 1. We divide by 2. So our x cannot equal 1/2. That's bad. Okay, so if it can't equal 1/2, then that means my domain would be anything except for 1/2. So I'm going to start at negative infinity. There's going to be a hole at 1/2. So I use my union. And then the graph would continue from 1/2 to a positive infinity. So that's step 2. And then my last step is my range. And I said that we're going to use our original equation. So I go back to my original equation, which was the x minus 4 over 2x plus 1. And again, I'm going to take the denominator and I'm going to set it equal to 0. So I'll take this 2x plus 1 and I'll set it equal to 0. I'm going to minus the 1 to the other side and divide by the 2, which is going to get me x equals negative 1/2. So again, I can have anything in my domain except for negative 1/2. So it'll start from negative infinity, then there's going to be a hole at negative 1/2, then I'll pick back up at negative 1/2, and it'll continue to positive infinity. And I'm done.